guys? Welcome to the Disciples of Wrestling podcast. I hope you all have been enjoying my podcast as of late, as I've been trying to improve and do the best that I can to make you guys satisfied with what you're watching. So today I'm going to talk about a little bit of Monday Night Raw, a little bit of the changes that they're doing. I'll also be talking about the times that one of the first times that I've ever seen wrestling live, and I'll be asking you guys the same thing. What was the first time? When was the first time you guys went to a wrestling event? What was it? Do you remember it? Let me know your feelings about it when you were a kid, whatever. Could be any company, it doesn't matter, it doesn't have to be WWE. Anywho, I'm gonna get into things. So, real quick, I don't know if you guys have noticed or have read up on it. Recently, last week, WWE decided that they were gonna sign Paul Heyman to run Monday Night Raw behind the scenes, and Eric Bischoff to run SmackDown behind the scenes. Now, SmackDown last week absolutely sucked, in my opinion. It was boring from start to finish, weak storylines. Kevin Owens is a heel, and now all of a sudden he's a good guy again. Makes absolutely no sense, but whatever, I'll go with it. Aleister Black, nobody knows who he's going to face at Extreme Rules. If I was a betting man, I'd say Bray Wyatt, maybe, but I'm not really good when it comes to gambling, so I wouldn't make that bet. However, Monday Night Raw was Paul Heyman's first Raw that he ran, basically not on his own, because everything goes through Vince, but he ran it. And the changes were that the first hour of Raw, you saw two matches back to back. You saw Strowman spear Lashley into the Titantron. The whole thing blows up, and it makes ratings go up. It was good. Again, you had two matches back to back. After that, no stupid promos, except for the Shelton Benjamin thing where he's just staring into the camera looking crazy. I don't know what the hell that's supposed to be, but I'm sure we'll find out, unfortunately, because I have no interest in that. But Raw was great. I enjoyed the matches. I thought that the club coming back was well overdue, and I'm sure that some other people will agree with me on that. I think that the whole AJ Ricochet thing is going to be good. I don't know where it's going to go, considering that Rey Mysterio is supposed to come back tonight on Monday Night Raw, and he's supposed to feud with Ricochet. So I don't know if they're going to do like a three-way triple threat, or what's going to happen. I don't know if they're going to add another member into the club, which I would take Balor off SmackDown and add him onto Raw. But then they can't, because Raw will have too many titles, and SmackDown would lack one title since Balor is the IC champion, which I'm sure many forgot about because Balor hasn't been on TV for whatever reason. I think that with Heyman running Raw, I think it's a fantastic idea. Many people, I'm sure you guys remember when Heyman ran SmackDown, you had the Heidenreich storyline, you had Undertaker burying Paul Bearer alive, whatever, on SmackDown when who was it? I'm sorry. Heyman was with the Dudley Boys, managing them at the time again, and they had that whole very brief storyline. So Heyman did a lot of good things for Raw. For SmackDown at the time. Ratings were good, the storylines were good, and I believe strongly that with Heyman running Raw, and apparently after SummerSlam they're supposed to have another draft. Heyman and Bischoff want completely revamped rosters. They want a brand new stage set, all this stuff. I don't know if they're going to get it, but apparently Vince has been listening, and he basically decided to give these guys what they want. So there is going to be a draft after SummerSlam. And now apparently backstage they agreed that they want it to be like how the NFL does drafts and baseball does drafts. So I'm not sure if it's going to be like how we expect it to be, where it's like this guy comes out this guy comes out, that guy comes out, and I don't exactly know what format they're gonna do, but I'm sure that it should be pretty interesting. So, with that being said, what was the first time you guys went to a? It could be WWE, it could be WCW, it could be an indie show. What was the first wrestling event that you guys went to? What were some of the matches that went on? What do you guys remember? What did you guys feel? Did you meet anybody, any wrestlers at all? For me, I don't remember if it was Raw, if it was a house show, but I remember seeing at Nassau Coliseum, it was Yokozuna against Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Remember, I was a very young kid. My dad ended up buying me the old Hacksaw Jim Duggan 2x4 with like a foamy 2x4, and I had the old plastic WWE title, well, IC title at the time, and I still have the IC title somewhere in my room or under my bed or something like that, or in my attic. It was a great show. I loved it. I have a picture somewhere. I haven't been able to find it, but I know I have it somewhere in my house. And then from there on, I went to a couple of pay-per-views. I was at the '98 SummerSlam, the Highway to Hell SummerSlam. Taker Austin. I'm sure you guys remember it. Great pay-per-view. Actually, it was fantastic pay-per-view. They actually had. I'm not sure if it was around that time or after or whatnot, but I remember I went to a Monday Night Raw, and they had Foley outside the arena talking with a bunch of fans. It was the night after he got thrown off the top of the Hell in the Cell, and it was really, really cool. At the time, like, it's things like that WWE doesn't do now. Like, you don't have wrestlers basically walking through like the ticket area or the waiting area before you go inside the arena, like they used to, Like, I remember going to wrestling shows and I would bump into Edge and I bump into Val Venus just walking through the halls while everybody's waiting online, or in the parking lot area after the shows. I ran into CM Punk, I ran into Doc Gallows, ran into Edge and Christian. I had a picture with them. Really cool guys. My brother met The Miz at one time at the Cross Bay Diner over here in Howard Beach one time, because they use the gym over here a lot. Really cool guys. As long as you respect them and respect their privacy, they'll be nice to you. Anywho, just wanted to get this out. A friend of mine had asked me to do a day in wrestling history for each of my podcasts from now on, so I'm going to incorporate that right now. So, 23 years ago today was the birth of the NWO. NWO went on to be one of the biggest factions in wrestling history. WCW wise, WWE's version of the NWO was kind of flat, very flat actually, because they just added guys who at the time, yeah, they were involved in the NWO maybe, but Booker T being in the NWO was a waste of time. In WWE, it was stupid. Big Show made sense because he was in the NWO, but it wasn't all that interesting. The only time it was really interesting when it was just Hall, Nash, and Hogan, when they had the feud with The Rock, and that was WrestleMania 18 was really, really cool when they did that. But it could have been 19. I'm sorry, I messed up. But anyway, I hope you guys watch Raw tonight. It should be pretty interesting. The setting up storylines for Extreme Rules. I don't know what the whole thing going on with Maria and Mike Kanellis is. I know she's pregnant again. There were some rumors backstage that people backstage were really, really mad at her because they just signed her and Mike for like 5 years, $500,000 altogether. And then it's like, oh, well, she's pregnant again, so she's not going to be on TV for 9 months, and neither is he, or he will be, but very briefly, and you know what? People can't control they can control what happens, but in a way you can't. If you're going to have a baby, you're going to have a baby. Nothing you can do about it. What are you going to do? Be mad if somebody decides that they want to have a family? I think WWE's in the wrong for that, but that's just my 2 cents. Anyway, like, share, comment, drop your comments below. I want to know about one of the first times you went to a wrestling event, and I want to know what matches they had, if you remember, and what got you into wrestling? What made you a fan? Which wrestler made you a fan? Tell me about it. Drop it below. Later, guys.